Thank you so much, and hello in Hogenta. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed and you read a little bit of this. Perhaps it's the reality that a lot of us are already facing today, which is a bit of mixed messages, and you always have to read in the small print that you have over there. And I think you will see that a lot of the points that I will be making are so connected to what you've heard, showing very reinforced unitary message. So this is a typical example of beautiful greenwashing, also known as green hugging, where you get the reality being presented in different ways according to the choice of words that people actually have. So it's a pleasure for me to speak to you on how is it that widely the jewelry industry can navigate some of the green legislation and some of the green changes that are definitely coming our way. You will see that I have focused a lot of my presentation on the European Union because that's the first market that is going to impact you. But changes are happening across the world. So I think now that we especially live and work in a unitary digitized world, this is more important than ever. But now a little bit about us. And because images and visuals are 10 times more important than words, I will invite you to watch a video that explains what is it that the Natural Diamond Council does. Thank you for stepping a little bit into our world, which is the mesmerizing world of the new diamond dream and the jewelry beauty and love for this very precious stone. What is it that we are in a snippet from all the images that you've seen there? We call ourselves the Vogue for Diamonds, which is the go-to place for you to get inspiration get to understand brands, get to see styles, and definitely get to experience a lot of the diversity and versatility that this beautiful stone brings. We have 28,000 unique daily visitors to our website, which means that we're getting to consumers every day, 365 days a year, and we can see that they're very much in love with a lot of the information that we're providing that is basically about you, the jewelry world. We are on absolutely any single social media platform that you can imagine have been across the world. And it's very important for us to be there because this is where a lot of the conversations of our consumers are taking place and where they're going to seek for this inspiration. And this actually has the most updated information on our achievements. But I'm here to talk to you about the consumer, and I would say a bit of a predicament that our consumer definitely finds itself. And it's very much on the messaging around where is it that our world is going, focus on the green agenda. What the European institutions have highlighted is that 75% of the products that you can find on the EU market contain a version of a claim related to green steps that those organizations or products might have taken. The bad news about it is that between 53 and 58%, which is a staggering percentage, are actually claims that are not to be founded. They provide very vague, very misleading information. And to make things a little bit even tougher, 40% of them are completely unsubstantiated. That basically means that action needs to be taken. Action needs to be taken because, of course, our world needs to go to a much better, much stronger area. And for that, we need to actually not only have words, but we actually need to have action. And the consumer needs to be informed, needs to know how is it that they can have access to the best products to make the choices that they want to make with all the information that is verified out there. So not only buying words, but actually buying and associating themselves to the real values and real action of those organizations. What I wanted to highlight for you, and I will go through these pieces of legislation, and I definitely encourage each and every one of you that is interested in a specific piece of legislation, or you want to go a step further, I'll be here until tomorrow afternoon, but you'll see at the end of the presentation, I'm also sharing my email address. Please feel free to reach out, because there is certainly change in the market that you need to be aware of, whether according to the size of your organization, you're not directly targeted by these pieces of legislation, you will certainly do so through the environment that you're actually part of. So the first rule, and I have to give you a warning of a couple of slides that will have more text, so bear with me as I go through that one. The first one is the empowering consumers towards the green transition. This, I would say, is one of the most important pieces of law that is brand new. In January this year, the European Parliament has voted on this piece of law. The second the EU Council is also going to have it approved, this is going to enter into force and will be applied across all of the European markets. This is a piece of law that strengthens the position in which our consumers will find themselves because it will help them get that direct access to information. The second law you see there, also called the Green Claims Directive, and directive refers to a piece of law from the European Union that is given to the EU member states, is on the substantiation that those companies need to make in order to respect the consumer and in order to give them that information that they need. The reporting directive speaks for itself from the title. It's focused on the reporting that each and every organization needs to make. And the last one refers to especially the largest of the organizations on the due diligence that they need to make on their entire value chain and their entire supply chain. For sure, the last piece is not going to affect the vast majority of you here in the audience, but you're going to be indirectly affected because those organizations that you might be working with need to actually meet this law. All these are going to be made available also to the organizers for Inhorgenta, so you will have access to this info, so don't worry about taking notes. What you need to know is that as of now, generic environmental claims are banned by the European Union. Things like environmentally friendly, eco-friendly, forever green, nature's friend. These are generic claims that are banned What you need to understand from these is they're not stopping you or us all to communicate about the impact that we have, but they just need to know that every single claim is substantiated and it's not just generalized, passed on to the audience without any explanation of what is it that they're referring to. What is a conscious product? Where is a carbon-friendly product? You need to go into the details and break it into several pieces for the consumer so that they understand the product that they're buying. What is also very interesting is, one, you need to have the performance substantiated, is also if you're comparing products, you need to provide the same information on the product that you're comparing yourself to as you would for yourself. That entails more honest comparisons between products, or for you to understand the aspects that actually some of your competitors might have. This is all done so businesses do not mislead, of course, and consumers will be able to be much more grateful by, one, their values being associated to the values of the companies, but also resting assured that what they've decided to invest in has actually concrete implementation. The Green Claims Directive thankfully comes with how is it that companies do that? Because, of course, just creating the framework is not the first element, but it's how you need to do that. This is really hot off the press because on the 15th of this month of February, the European Parliament's two leading committees that work on this piece of law have just voted on the report, which means that the conversations are actually moving quite fast within the European institutions, and probably a lot of the negotiation between the institutions will take place for the vast majority of this year. One element that I wanted to highlight for you there is that from the position that the European Parliament currently has, is that companies will need to submit any future environmental marketing claims for approval before being able to use them. Why is that? Is that they need to actually come and show how is it that they walk the talk. Micro-enterprises are excluded from the scope of this law, and SMEs will probably be given an extra year for the implementation of the law so that they can get all of their systems in place to be able to do that. But again, I think it's clear for all of us that once you have organizations being able to provide this information to consumers, consumers are going to ask all of us to be able to provide the same things and to speak in the same way. And that's going to ensure a much stronger level playing field. These are examples of assessments that a company actually needs to go through when they're going to need to make the verification of the claims that they're making, the marketing claims that they're making. And as you can see, they're absolutely grounded in clear information, verified information. Third-party verification is instrumental. And that's why I would definitely, you will see, I will have also later on some suggestions for you. You definitely need to already, as of now, get in touch with standard-setting organizations, such as the Responsible Jury Council for us here in the jury world. It's instrumental to be able to use standards that are accredited internationally that will already help you start walking the talk and prepare for these pieces of law that are coming our way. Now, this law has been approved. It's passed from the European institutions, and in 2025, we are going to see the first large organizations reporting into this framework. This, I would say, is one of the leading laws because it's actually going to touch around 50,000 companies with the rules on how is it that they are requested to report. This is thankfully an element, again, of unification and clarification of what is it that these companies are doing with their efforts within environmental protection. As you see there, they're including elements of social responsibility, human rights, and one element that I absolutely love, diversity on company boards. An interesting concept that they're introducing, and to the ones of you that are looking into reporting standards, these are very much aligned with the GRI guidelines, but an element that the European Union has included is that double materiality concept. That's new and that's beautiful, because it's not only the impact that you have on the environment, on the sustainability of everything that is going on around you, but also the impact that any change out there is going to have into your business. This strong partnership, this unification, actually means the integration of doing things, doing them better, and you as a company growing alongside you, fulfilling those practices. So it's a crucial piece of reporting, and it's the first time that finally there is such a framework from the European institutions for this. And last but not the least, the due diligence. A lot of you know the OECD due diligence guidelines. These are very much aligned with these, and they've integrated some updated elements that are going to be essential for the largest of companies. Of course, SMEs are excluding from the direct scope of due diligence because this really refers to bigger impact, larger level of companies. However, because you might be part of the value chain, of the supply chain of those organizations, you are going to be affected, impacted by the rules that they will need to respect. So definitely do keep an eye on this. This piece of law is still under negotiation. The European Parliament and the European Commission have agreed on a text. However, now, of course, it needs to be discussed and finally approved by the two legislative bodies of the European Union. Now, the advice, because all of this is a lot of information, very important information for you to definitely read on. I wanted to make sure that you do have this on your agenda, but there are concrete elements that you can already do and prepare yourself for that. And I would always support words matter. How you choose and how you choose to implement them is absolutely instrumental. Therefore, and I wanted to highlight a message that Gaetano has very kindly shared with you. Be transparent and absolutely communicate your values. This transparency and being accurate to your core is the most important element that you do. All these pieces of law are not there to stop you from communicating the great things that you can do for community, for the society around you, for the environment, but it's actually to get you more focused. Where you can make a difference, pick those topics. Those are going to be the truest to you as well as to your customers. And I promise you, this is the symbiosis that you're looking for your customers, because they will forever value and they will enforce you to continue fulfilling those steps. Get certified. If you get certified, I mentioned standard setting organizations, they already help you get ready, be able to confirm, share all the information on the work that you're doing, and this certification is going to help you set your business in absolutely the right direction. Diamond nomenclature is key, of course. I'm working a lot on natural diamonds terminology. Gaetano was mentioning earlier various phrases, sustainably created diamonds. Well, that's a very generic term that does not speak to the essence of a product. You need to be very careful. That is a generic information that is put out there. You need to be specific on the choice of words that you do. And you need to listen to what's the legislation or what are the guidelines in each country that you need to respect. Gaetano mentioned France. There, of course, you need to use specific terminology already. Germany has same systems in place, and there are a lot of other countries across the world that do that. So make sure you're informed in your key areas. CIBJO guidelines. Again, they are there for you. They're there for your access, whether there are guidelines, the blue books, the do's and don'ts, very clearly described on all the elements and the initiatives that you need to take on. Also fresh from the print, diamantwissen.de, established by the 3 leading German jewelry, gemstone, and diamond associations, will be able to provide a lot of information on the legislative elements, what are the guidelines that the trade needs to respect here in Germany, in the direct market that you are working on, and they will constantly be able to update that website for you to get the latest information. And last but not the least, work with us. And this is a nice intro for me to share a little bit about the work that we've done that follows the lines of be specific with the things that, with the statements that you're making, with the impact that you're having. All of the information that we're sharing is grounded into third-party verified sources, and we've chosen topics that are closest to our hearts. What we've seen from a recent study that we've done, it's done for the US market, but you will see it definitely also applies for the international markets. The moment in which your customers get the full story of the products, of the beautiful jewelry that you're actually bringing them, you get a lot of the impact information that you can share with them. Those customers are going to be much more understanding of the work that you're doing, and you will definitely increase their sense of comfort and their sense of collaboration, stronger sense of collaboration that they would like to have with you. So do not underestimate the power of the green communication done well. You've heard or seen our Hollywood actress, our U.S. our global ambassador, sorry, for the Diamond World, actress Lily James. She's a fantastic ambassador of our industry, and what we've decided to do with her is actually invite her at the same time as we've invited our consumers through her to come and delve a little bit deeper in the real world of diamonds. So I'll invite you to watch a bit of her reflection from her first visit in Botswana.
High expectations based on what I'd learned as being the ambassador for Natural Diamond Council. I knew the story of the diamond mines in Botswana and the impact that they have on the country, but seeing it firsthand was really completely beyond what I expected, and the profound nature of it really hits home once you're in Botswana. I feel so lucky, and it's so incredible to be here and to learn from OP, our guide, about all the work they're doing here, and it's breathtaking.
This place is called Pala Center, and this is one of our main water holes where our animal drinks.
It's the work they do is so incredible, and over this trip getting to see right now the conservation and how they're protecting the animals. When I landed into Arapa, you see the mine. The first thing that hit me when I went to this mine was there was Ira, the CEO, who is so inspiring. She has been at that mine since the very beginning, was the one, saw the potential, and they've mined the biggest rocks out there. Their speciality is these big raw diamonds, and she is sort of running things alongside Nassim, who's the manager of the mine, and they were just so incredibly powerful. We went to De Beers headquarters, which was the vault of Botswana, and within there they have all these rough diamonds. I was led round by this woman, Pat, and two other women who are completely the highest senior positions. She was just telling me how when she looks at a mine, she sees the future, she sees schooling, she sees this, she's witnessed the growth of Botswana and how it's changed since these mines were discovered. And I was walking around, having this incredible tour and seeing all these rough diamonds in their pure form. And they are being sorted into size and color and into types. It was incredible holding them. You feel this energy. I toured around KGK, which is a polishing and cutting facility for diamonds. It's in Botswana. They're doing it all on site, bringing the business into Botswana, the country of the mining. Their ambition is for locality to employ as many people from Botswana. They have an education system on site, which I saw, which is training up students to be able to, and they're 100% absorbed into the company, so they've got guaranteed work. It was incredible witnessing the skill and the technology that goes into these diamonds. And this facility has its own gardens, which feed the employees, run by this incredible woman who is so passionate about the vegetables. Wow. Look at that. And they have solar panels, they're recycling the water. There's a creche so that if mothers are working there, they are able to bring their small children. And I also went and visited these incredible kids, like 2-year-olds. One of my favorite experiences was visiting a school in Arapa, and I met this class of 10 and 11-year-old kids, and they were just so bright, so ambitious. I was asking them all what they wanted to do, and there was presidents, there was vets, doctors, rappers, and I just felt so privileged to share in that day with them and their amazing teacher, Emily, who just dedicates everything to these kids. She calls them her babies, and the school is incredible. The children in Botswana have access to free education. The experience I've had in Botswana and witnessing these schools, hospitals, and conservation, and really the communities has really increased the value of these diamonds. There's such depth and emotion and meaning and a story behind them.
So Lily was able to share with our consumers, our global consumers, a lot of what she's learned. We are going to continue these trips and these introductions in the natural diamond world, and you will see a lot of updated and very beautiful content coming out already in March from her next trip. What we've done, of course, is that we've taken her message, one, through her own platforms as well as through all of ours. And this is definitely also out there for use for the members of industry and trade that are interested in this. We've brought this closer to consumers, and we were able to share specific messages on the impact on wildlife and protection on wildlife, the impact of community, where 80% of the value actually remains within communities in various forms, from employment creation, taxes paid, infrastructure investments. So all these stories marked on very concrete information can be shared in a beautiful and seamless way with consumers. A campaign that we've developed on these topics was launched back in 2021 and is still a campaign that is going very strong, and you will see some updates later on this year on it. We were basically thanking consumers for their contribution, for their choice that enabled the natural diamond world to have a considerate impact and contribution to communities. We have various forms in which we were able to also share this content. And again, all of this is available and is using globally by retailers with their consumers. They're very important stories. And again, you can choose the ones that fit your organization the most, the values that you're connected to in the best possible way. Here is an example of one of the ads that we had placed in China with key partners, and you can see it's absolutely seamless, beautiful, and I can tell you the feedback we've received from consumers was instrumental, because you're bringing them a reality that they were not aware of, and they feel much better about the purchase that they have already of their key, close to their heart, piece of jewelry. This is an ad that we had placed over Christmas on the Opera House in Paris. It was an incredible moment to actually see and receive pictures from a lot of our key partners and international consumers across the world, sharing this with us as they just randomly passed by the opera, and they've noticed that their diamonds actually had an impact that they were not aware of. These are other examples of where we've been working with retailers, and of course, RGC was one of our key partners there in bringing this message to the world consumers. But it was a very important way of also collaborating with trades across the world that were able, through a model of cooperative marketing, to also add their messages and bring this to their direct consumers. We've created a series of materials for members of trade. Here you see some examples of materials in store. Of course, this was also used whether they went to trades or in any other moments or places where they interacted with their consumers. In addition to the brightest campaigns that you've seen just earlier, we also wanted to address some of the facts. And I have the Diamond Facts report, which is something that our organization wanted to address, especially in this moment, is to actually address a lot of the misinformation and misconceptions that are out there. Here are 11 topics that we decided to address, where we use secondary sources, verifiable sources, to address those and explain a lot of the background. You can find all this on our website, and if you're interested in copies of the report, or even we even have a shorter version, because this is indeed a hefty report for which I'm not sure where when you have the time to actually put your book on the side and read this. If you're passionate, you will do it. I read it many times and it's gorgeous. But you can absolutely use that in one briefing, for example, your customers in a snippet, more digestible way. We have that as well. We have videos that explain a lot of these topics that you can, one, find on our website, and we can also provide that to you if you want to use it on your social media channels. We also have a series of educational modules that we're using to bring to the attention of retail and other trade partners to be able to inform their consumers, because an informed consumer, an educated consumer, is one that will always come back to you for all the elements that are key for them and to share the love that they have for jewelry. Thank you so much for indulging me to invite you in the world of green, and to make sure that we can bring the beautiful diamond dream to our consumers now and for a very long time. Feel free to email me at raluca@naturaldiamonds.com. Dankeschön.